Hello everybody and welcome to History Bite number 40, dated September 15th, 2020. I'm Walter, your mobile historian and blue-collar scholar. This History Bite is entitled, America's Greatest President. Now everybody in the United States and indeed the world likely has an opinion on who they think America's greatest president was. And that's only logical. We've all got differing perspectives, views, and objectives. And so different presidents will meet our own standards. In the United States, we have an official ranking system that constantly evaluates the American presidents based on the actions during their administration and the long-term effects of their presidencies on the country. Consistently, one man tops the charts every time, and that man is Abraham Lincoln. This historian agrees in full that Abraham Lincoln was indeed the greatest president the United States of America has ever had and ever will have. Abraham Lincoln served as the 16th president of the United States of America from March the 4th, 1861 until April 15th, 1865. He served in the presidency during our nation's most tumultuous and uncertain period, the first half of the 1860s, during the American Civil War. This was the greatest challenge the American nation had ever faced and has ever faced to its existence as a country. Our nation had literally broken into two countries, okay? And Mr. Lincoln had the Civil War essentially waiting for him when he took the oath of office as President of the United States. Though the war officially commenced on the 12th of April, 1861 with the firing on Fort Sumter, okay, this was inevitable as the South was set on a course of complete and total withdrawal from the United States and all of its institutions. It no longer wished to be a part of the United States. They wished to form their own country. However, Abraham Lincoln was not about to allow the American nation to be destroyed by the treasonous South. Lincoln's bold and decisive actions from 1861 to 1865 preserved the American nation that had been given to us by the Founding Fathers. As if that was not good enough, his actions also laid the foundation for the destruction of human slavery in this country. First, by his issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation, and second, by his overwhelming support for the passage of the 13th Amendment in the Congress and then in the states once it had passed through the Congress. So Lincoln's bold and unwavering determination, as well as his spirit and his personal conviction that the American nation must be preserved at all costs, led him to pursue this war for as long as it needed to be fought, until a victory was ours. The war took a great personal toll upon him. His health, okay, his mental state, everything, okay? But he was willing to give it all for the preservation of this country. Abraham Lincoln was by no means a perfect man. He had many faults. He was a classic man of his day. He had the prejudices of his time. But the Civil War, beyond question, changed him. He was not the same man in April of 1865 that he was in March of 1861. The Civil War changed not only him, but this nation, beyond question. And his legacy remains with us to this day, by the simple fact that America is one nation. Yes, we are beyond question a nation torn apart by partisan faction, but that's always existed. The bottom line is that there is no more Confederate States of America and United States of America. There is only a United States of America and a United States of America that no longer allows one human being to enslave another with the protection of the law. Those things were destroyed, okay, under the presidency of Abraham Lincoln. He laid the foundation for the destruction of human slavery and preserved our nation. Two things which no president before him or since has been able to compete with at their best, okay? Those two things, saving our country and laying the groundwork for slavery's destruction, ensure that Abraham Lincoln will always be ranked as America's greatest president, okay? If you, for all his detractors out there, if you were in his shoes during the Civil War and think you could have done it better, I invite you to tell me how. This was an unprecedented situation on all levels, and Lincoln did what he had to do to save this country from collapse. You don't realize, okay, you do not realize probably how close the United States of America did indeed come to collapse. But that was not going to happen on Abraham Lincoln's watch. And that is why he was and will forever be America's greatest president. And I'll add for the record that he is also my personal favorite. As a docent at the Baltimore Civil War Museum, I most certainly make that fact known. Okay? So, I close in saying that you may disagree with me, and that is perfectly fine. We all, like I said, will have our opinions on who we think America's greatest president was. But I assert that that person, in my humble opinion, was Abraham Lincoln. After all, who before him or since has had the opportunity to literally save the American nation from destruction, as well as lay the foundation for the destruction of its original sin, slavery? No one. Like I said, his record speaks for itself. Our greatest president, ladies and gentlemen, was Abraham Lincoln. Thank you so much for listening to this History Bite. If you have any questions, controversies, challenges to anything I've said here, I invite you to put them in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for listening to this History Bite, if you made it all the way through. And I look forward to talking to you at the next one. Take care.